Welcome to the Mentor Studio, where today's thought leaders and leading entrepreneurs inspire and bring real-world ideas that help you take your career to levels you've only dreamed of. Now buckle in. Here's your host, Michael Silvers.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Jonathan Trowan. We are here with Phyllis Song from Virtual Assistants International. Welcome. So happy that you're here. I really want to get into the story, but tell us a little bit about the company and why you actually created it.
Yeah, absolutely. The reason why I created the company is actually by the divine. That's what I want to say, because I was just sharing my idea about how to use a virtual assistant because I used it for like 12 years and then 10 years at that time. And then somebody said, hey, you need to start this business. I was like, no, I'm a very comfortable realtor and I'm doing really well with my virtual assistant. I barely do anything. I collect checks. I'm good. Right. And I mean, you guys are successful. You guys know how to hire virtual assistant. You don't need me. But then I have this one friend just harass me every day, every week. And then he starts sending me clients. It's like, people need your help. People need your help. And it just so happened that COVID was right around that corner too. And I was like, okay, let me figure out what this is all about. And then I just went into it and I fall in love with it. Ultimately, at the very beginning, when I used my virtual assistant for my own, I love working with single mom. I love working with moms pretty much. And I love working with moms that just have babies. So they're like, okay, go breastfeed. Sometimes we have meetings and they're like, oh, breastfeeding each other. It was really cool. But, what I really found is that, wow, so another side story. I actually grew up with Filipino maids. In Singapore, Malaysia, people have maids 24 hours. Really amazing. Not in the United States. But one thing I realized is they give us the love that they have because their kids are back home. Nobody take care of them. And during that time, that's like 30 years ago, they don't have cell phones. They don't have like video calls. So they don't see their kids for like 5 years, sometimes 2 years. And then like one phone call every few months. That's it. But they pour all the love into us. So I was just so in tune with single moms and moms because I grew up with my mother too. and that kind of transformed into a passion. Is like, well, maybe I should do this business because now I'm helping business owners, right? COVID was, happening at that time. I can help business owners save money and I can help those moms, right? To work from home, make amazing money and still be able to raise their children so they don't grow up without the love, without the, man, what's going on? How come my mom's not here? And then ever since then, that has been moving me forward, with my business. So that's kind of like the story of how it got started.
So that's really powerful. So a part of it is helping the moms who don't want to leave the house. And then but you're also helping the people who run businesses and can't do it all themselves and actually need the help. Yeah.
And the truth with that part too is because, my husband are very busy, right? I am a very Asian submissive woman. So I was like, yes, yes, sir, yes, sir. Right. So to a point where I got overwhelmed. And as a mother, as a woman, it's like, man, I feel with a lot of guilt, right? Because I can serve my husband really well because there's a lot of to-dos, right? I can serve my children because they're very demanding, right? So what am I going to do? And then when I found virtual assistant, and obviously on top of that is I don't have a lot of money, right? Because small business owners, how can I hire 3 people, 4 people, 5 people? I don't have the budget. So when I found virtual assistant, I was like, I can live like a millionaire. Right. I can live like a millionaire because I can have 3, 4, 5 virtual assistants, which is a fraction of the cost. Right. And then, so then when C's come to me, right, my husband come to me, he's like, hey, did you get it done? Yeah, I got it done. You didn't do a thing. I said, I know, but it's done. And I just fall in love with it. And I start spending time with my kids. I was like, this is the life that business owners should have, not the one that's like, sorry, babe, I'm so busy. I can't talk to you right now. Sorry, babe. You want to eat dinner, just go cook for yourself, right? Sorry, babe, I'm making money for you. But then ultimately, the kids will start feeling the not love and not enough, almost as like how I grew up without my parents. And even though, again, everybody have legitimate answer, right? Reasons, right? I got to make money. But, what if we can really change that, change the world, change how we see how we do business, how we do family, how do we do work. And that is kind of like the framework of, how I want to, maybe not change the world, but, change a person at a time per se.
Yeah. So I want to take it back. So how did you get into that world?
So I was a real estate investor. We invest heavily on a single family and we were flipping and we were doing hard money loan. But again, I did very good at leveraging and delegating. So my VA do everything. But
you didn't start off with a VA though, right?
Well, because the Monique has been with me for 10 years.
So when did you start real estate?
I started real estate maybe about 5 years ago.
So you had your VA before you did it.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Why did you? This is the question. I know we didn't finish answering that question. We might get back to it. We'll see. Why did you get your first VA?
I have been running businesses for the past 18 years. And I knew that I need leverage, right? And I think at that time we were working with AT&T. We're working with AT&T and there's a lot of contracts. I don't like contract, and we also need to do confirmation call. So at that time, I already hired virtual assistant. So I've been using virtual assistant for 12 years. And sometimes people are like, well, virtual assistant is like robot, right? I can only do one thing. I said, no, because all my virtual assistant, whenever I change my mind into different businesses, they come with me and learn everything. So when I was in real estate, being a realtor, I only focusing on getting customers and market myself. And then my virtual assistant actually went into like Keller Williams, like how do you do CRM? How do you do contracts? How do you make sure that I'm licensed well? How can I, get paid? How do I do the listing? All that was done by the virtual assistant. I didn't learn a thing of that. All right. So, got intervention, right? I lost my credit card and I was really upset because, I lost my people, right? And I have to call the company. But when I called the company and I was like, you're not from United States, even though you asked my credit card, right? The information. And I was like, okay, what's your name? And I think the person say Abraham. I was like, what's your last name? Lincoln. I was like, there's no way your name is Abraham. Come on, really? Like, right? So after that, I was just like, I'm really curious. This must be, if the big company is using somebody in the foreign country, right? I must be able to do something about it. So then I start researching it. And then I found out that there's this thing called the virtual assistant. People in a lot of the big companies using, offshore, like people from India, people from Philippines, people from, Russia, right? To outsource all this work. And I was excited. And then I just went straight in and I just start testing out different countries. I mean, where I am today, I think I have tested out at least 1,000 virtual assistants, with the country, their speaking, their culture, their work ethic, what is the expectation. But yeah, and then I was like, oh, this is cool. Wow, they are cheap. Well, I can fire them immediately. Well, I can hire them like, like when you post an ad, it's like 300 people, over the world is like applying for the job. I was like, oh, this is fun. And then I just started, and before, when at that moment I was a recruiter for AT&T for door-to-door sales. So I was very good at recruiting already. So I just used whatever I'm using, cutting it short and then do it online. And then I just started to hire one and second one and third one and fourth. I love it. They're college graduates. They love working. They're like, okay, boss, what else? Can I get more? You work 40 hours. It's like, can I do 50 hours? Some of them work 60 hours. One of the girl, I was like, America, we need to take care of life and wealth, right? Please only work 40 hours. And I found out that the person go get a second job, a part-time job. I was like, dude, like if you're working for a part-time job, just work for me. You get what I'm saying? He's like, well, I mean, that's what we do. I was like, fine, I honor your culture, right? I forget about the 40 hours. That just work for me. And then the rest was just history. And then I just started to see all the potential, right? I have people in accounting, bookkeeping, social media, copywriting, customer service, pretty much anything that I don't like to do, anything that C's got it to me, I just delegate, leverage it out. Obviously, is there failures? Of course, right? Because, culturally, we're not the same, right? And then when I come, fast forward it, is it fast forward? Yeah. When I was in real estate business, when we were writing the loan, the VA was doing it. When we were doing the contract, they were the one that's doing it. When we're doing when we're doing flipping, we have a big, spreadsheet with, how many fans did you buy? How many tiles you buy? I'm not good at those details. I hate those details, but they know. Hey, remember that house we bought, like that 2 fans? What is that? When is that? They're like, boss, here's the receipt. This is the fan. What time is it? How much is it? What kind of discount we use? Where do we buy it from? I was like, whoa, this is cool. And then ever since then, I just in love with virtual assistant because I live like a millionaire. I just wake up in the morning. I open up my phone and I say, hey, today I need to do this, and I need to hang out with my kids at 4:00. So do not call me at 4:00. This customer needs something, go talk to them, figure it out. That's it. Don't talk to me. I don't want to work, and sometimes I'm just like, hey, I need to eat my lunch. We need to write this email. Why don't you write? And I'm just eating. So I would literally like eating and you type it. No, I don't like that. Oh, yeah, I like this. All right, cool. Perfect. And it's sent. And then, yeah. And sometimes they are my therapist. Like sometimes, you get into a fight with your husband, right? Or things doesn't go well. So I just talk to them. I was like, okay, light up a candle virtually. And then I just vomit at them. Like, oh, this is what's going on. What happened? And then they always are so sweet. Like, oh, it's okay, boss. I take care of you. Well, we'll do it together. I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I need to hear. Because sometimes when you talk to your husband, sorry, I'm dissing my husband right here. he'll be like, okay, what do we need to do? How do we need to fix this? I was like, no, I don't need to fix anything. I just want to tell you what's going on. Right. And, but yeah, I just feel like, virtual assistant is the only way. The only way to leverage you, the only way to get things done, and they'll learn together with you. Obviously, there's some details on, what kind of virtual assistant you need to look for. How do you find the good one? But when you find that perfect one, or a few of them, I have 40 of them right now, man, I feel like I'm living the dream. Right now, I'm just traveling all over, kind of like you said, last month, I just went to India for 30 days retreat, no tech, right? The business is running really smoothly. I don't have to worry about anything. Like I said, it is the only way.
So how do you have a business that runs with virtual assistants, right? Yeah. So you got to be connected. And you are now offline for 30 days. Like, how does that even work?
So I will introduce this book called Michael Gerber, the book called E-Myth. I love it. It talks about how McDonald's becomes so big in such a short period of time. And it talks about, every business is a system-based business, not a people-based business. So it talks about, like one of the big, highlight for me is that, do you know that in McDonald's manual, the system that they have is, okay, when you put the patty on, 7 seconds, you flip it over, and then you take it up, put it in the bun. It's very specific. That's why, they always hire the, like lower wages, because anybody can do it. But what we did most of the time is we don't have systems, and then we have to pay more for people to help us. So what I did with my company is that I have systems, and I also have backups. So anytime if somebody's gone, it doesn't affect me at all, and then, and everybody help each other out. And we always system that overlay each other. So if somebody's gone or somebody make a mistake, the other person will immediately catch it.
So they all know they're connected to each other.
Yeah. So it's almost like a hierarchy, but then they all know each other's job. So if this person is primary, this person will be secondary. They might not know as well what this person is doing, but if this person is gone, this person will be able to catch up immediately. So I always have kind of like a Lego, like a puzzle thing. So it works really well for me. And then, and again, everybody's really loyal. To me, it's really just what Bill said, invest in a relationship, because I invest in them in a relationship. They know that I love them. I care about them. They make really good money. And, they never it never goes wrong. Like they always tell you, sometimes they have gossip in the company. I always tell them, if you like drama, go Netflix, right? I don't want to hear it. But once in a while, they will notice about something is off with the culture in the company. People will immediately let me know, screenshot them, letting me know, transfer, and then so we know who we need to fire or communicate to. Because one of the biggest challenge a virtual assistant have is they are shy. But what it really is, is that they are very shameful. They're afraid that they're not good enough. Maybe they did something wrong, so they don't speak up. But then they speak among each other. So that's one thing that I always catch. I don't speak among each other because neither one of them can help you, right? But if you speak up, then we can fix the problem, because we're not perfect. So, if you don't tell us, we don't know, right? If you tell us, we're going to fix it together, and I'll give you a bonus for it, right? So that's how I created the culture. And truth to be told, first year in the virtual assistant business, I did well over $1 million. I don't really know how I did it, but, it's really the teamwork made the dreams work. Yeah.
So 30 days silent. I want to get back to that 30 days silent retreat in India.
Yeah.
What did you learn about, yourself, life, business? What was the transformation you went through?
Man, I love it. I don't think I can say it I think it will take me like 3 days to tell you everything that happened, but I'll say it maybe in 3 seconds, or not 3 minutes. I just think that very first thing that I really realized is that we are all addicted to suffering. Suffering make us feel important, because since you were young, right? Like, I don't know about you, but for me, it's like, when I'm doing something good, my mom always focused on what else do you need to improve on, right? That is the love, right? So then you start growing yourself out. Okay, I'm doing this well, but immediately go to the next one, you go to the next one. So you never stop to celebrate, right? And you have a lot of judgment in your head, whether it's to other people or to yourself. And that judgment, just stack and stack and stack and stack and stack. And eventually you're just running. You know that you're running towards something really good, but you have no idea why you're running. And the truth is, you don't even know where you're running. You just know that you're running, right? You're running. I'm running. But the craziest thing that the teachers say is you are running, but did you realize that you're actually running on a treadmill? So you're actually not running towards anything. You think that you are, but you didn't. That was the most amazing thing. And it talks about, a lot of us tend to think that we are getting a lot of things outwardly because it will heal us inwardly. But the truth is, it will never heal us inwardly unless we look into the inside and see, why am I whatever that is, right? What am I feeling not now? What am I feeling, not love? What am I feeling, like I'm not successful, right? I'm not amount to anything. Whatever that is, you have to look into it, look at the core, and then fix it from the core. And then when you're fixed, then you can go achieve whatever you want to do outwardly. And man, I was a classic case. I thought, just like what we talk about, I grew up with my mom and my dad. So, and people were saying that I was an unlucky child because my dad got into drugs and never come back. So if you are lucky, right? If you're a lucky child, what your dad do? Your dad would have quit because of you. So that was a big label on me. So I was just always like trying to achieve so that I thought I would get more love. And, maybe it's 1 million, maybe it's 3 million, maybe it's 10 million. I was just running and running and running. And then I just have something inside of me. It's like, something's off. Like, I feel like this is a hole that I can never fulfill. Something's off. That's why it made me wanted to go to India and figured it out. So again, I will suggest you, right? Listen to John's podcast or whatever John do, right? And at the same time, really figure out what is inside of you. Because, love, relationship, fulfillment, it's just right around your corner. You just never really realize it or acknowledge it. And then the time that you will realize it, most of the time is maybe the week before you are passing, or you just found out you have cancer. But at that time, it would be too late for us to fix anything that we want to fix.
Did you bring home with you, or maybe you had it before? Did you have a meditation practice? Do you have one now? Yeah.
So right now we practice meditation every day, because that will help us calm our brain and connect us, with the source. Before that, I do some meditation, but I didn't really understand why we're doing meditation. And when I do meditation, there's just so many, like talks inside my head that just, conversation that just going over. And I was like, I don't understand what I'm doing meditation for. And there's always so much to do. But right now, when I'm doing meditation, my brain is just so quiet. And it really now, really energized me of, what I need to do. And again, when when you start your business, I think you really need to ask, why am I doing this, right? What am I trying to solve? And what am I trying to solve inside of myself? And if you can really get that fixed or get it close to, not perfect, but close to, where you think it's good, then you can start, figure out what you really want to do, helping other people and things like that. And you will move so much faster. And I think that is totally where we come from. Been in the business for 18 years, right? We just always think that the next business is the better business, right? Grass is always greener and on the other side, instead of grass is greener where you water it, right? And, and everybody was successful at every business that we left. But then what we realized is it was us. It was, the problem was us. And then now we're starting to fix ourselves. And thus I have the magical, first year, more than $1 million without noticing what it is. And ultimately, I know this is not a spiritual podcast, but I think that the divine God was really helping me and bringing me along to what I really need to do. I'm very aligned with my passion, aligned with my goal, aligned with what I need to do. And he's bringing me all the right people, the right community, the right proximity. And it just feels so easy. Like I'm in, in the candy store. And I can have all the candies in the world. I don't have to work so hard, and things just keep coming. And I just love it. And that is my passion right now. I wanted to show business owners that, it is very easy if you make it to be, right? If you don't know something, just learn. It's not about the how, it's about the who, right? Get to know the who that are doing really well what you don't know, right? And really know your outcome, what you really want to do. And then, if you need help, I can definitely help you with virtual assistants. But ultimately, again, with the virtual assistant, it's not about the money. It was because then I can help other virtual assistant to live the life that they really want to live so that they can love themselves, feel important, and things like that. So I'm really trying to get this win-win-win. Again, I'm a kid in a candy store. I want everything that I want. So
and you can have everything that you want.
Absolutely.
If it comes from here, if it comes from,
Absolutely.
If you don't think it's going to fix things, if it comes from here so that you can share, you're making people's lives better. The virtual assistants, the people that need them. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
One last question. How do you define success?
How do I define success? I think I think success means that, you live happily every single day. You live, with your heart every single day, do what you want, when you want, with who you want. And I think that is the big key. This is one thing that Tony Robbins, teaches us, because again, in the past, I was just responsible girl, right? I need to be a responsible mom. I need to be a responsible wife. I need to do this. And I do everything for everybody else. I forget about myself, right? And I think success is serve ourselves first so they can serve others, and do what you want, when you want, with who you want, and live your life on your term and not anybody else's. Not even your husband, not even your kids. I know it's hard, but you can do it. I promise you, you can do it. If not, reach out to me. I'll tell you how to do it.
Phyllis, thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We're honored that you invested time with us today at the Mentor Studio. Now, don't be greedy. Share this knowledge bomb with all your dope peeps on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Actually, we'll even pay you to do it. To get the deets, please check out thementorsstudio.com.